There's a lot of mentally disturbed young boys who are running around the country blowing up their schools.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
The Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed.
Sure, yeah. I mean, what is standing in public with an assault rifle?
I don't have an assault rifle. If you see one, though, let me know, because they have to have a license to have an assault rifle.
Well, just help me understand what point you're trying to make and what you're trying to achieve here. Are you trying to make everybody comfortable with being able to carry these?
We're trying to educate people about what a good guy with a gun looks like, because the reason people are afraid is because, and I mean this in the literal sense, not in a derogatory sense, people are ignorant about firearms.
Oh, completely.
And so the problem that we have is the reason people are so ignorant and afraid, well, fear comes from ignorance. The reason that they're so afraid is because we have in society for the last 60 years pushed the presence and the sight of firearms literally into a closet. And so they've been completely removed from public. People used to open carry all the time. And so when...
Used to meaning when?
Say again?
When?
Oh, all the way up until about the 50s and 60s. That's when the gun control started kicking in and people started clamping down on open carry and passing. I mean, Texas, we didn't even have concealed carry.
Kind of, like maybe a pistol.
Well, but what is the one firearm that's under attack the most right now?
AR-15s.
Exactly. So we're here to show that an AR-15 is no different than any other firearm. And an AR-15, me carrying an AR-15, I'm no more dangerous than I am carrying nothing or carrying a pistol, because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But the problem is the public doesn't see, all they see in the media is bad stuff. So if more people openly carry peacefully and they see that there's no big deal, now I don't walk around everywhere I go with my rifle. I just don't. It's cumbersome, it's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient.
Hard to eat at dinner.
Right. Now we do it at rallies because the point we're trying to make is my ability to own this is under attack. My ability to carry this is under attack. And this rifle is my hunting rifle. So why is this any different than if I were carrying... I saw somebody with a...
You know what I think would be a much more productive use of your time? Going into the schools...
With my rifle?
No. Oh. Going into the schools and speaking to the young people.
I do that.
That would be awesome.
I do that.
There's a lot of mentally disturbed young boys who are running around the country blowing up their schools.
Yeah.
And I don't see any guys like you out there making a big deal about helping them not shoot each other.
Well, I do a lot of things. I work with police departments, I work with schools, I work with legislators, I work with...
I don't see enough being done.
Later this month.
What's that?
I would love to see you guys on school grounds protesting against school shootings and going in and having conversations and rallies at schools.
You know, we really wanted
to
have a conversation with the governor about that, but nobody got invited to those little round tables.
I just think that you guys could be doing so much more than standing out on the street.
But do you follow Open Carry Texas? Do you know everything that we do? We're involved in a lot of stuff.
I just don't see enough of it happening in the
You gotta open your eyes, brother.
Every single day, you know, we're hearing news.
If you want to go there and do that, I mean, by all means do that. We have...
I'm saying, I think you guys as advocates need to be helping to reduce the real problem that are making people nervous.
Well, and we are absolutely fighting to end gun-free zones. We are absolutely trying to do that.
To do the what?
To end gun-free zones. We don't want these shootings to happen, and if they do, we want them stopped ASAP.
Well, I don't think putting
Israel the way Israel does it is a good example of what we.
Well, I want it the way 170 school districts in Texas do it, that they allow their teachers to carry in self-defense.
Yeah, I mean, that may or may not help the situation. I think it's a mental health issue. I think we got a lot of angry young men.
But the problem is
who have nothing left to lose, and they're using the same weapons to be noticed. I mean, you saw the video.
But they're not using these that often.
Down in Florida.
But they're not using this. The majority of all shootings, the shootings are handguns. Yeah.
That he got his hands on.
Right. But you realize mental health. These are empirical studies. Mental health accounts for less than 3% of all mass shootings and school shootings.
I just
less than 3%.
As a gun owner, you know, I would love for you guys to be doing something positive.
Well, I just told you what we're doing that's positive, but you don't agree with that. Ending gun-free zones and allowing teachers to defend their students and themselves.
No, I mean by positive, I mean like helping to actually end school shootings by working with the young men.
Well, no, and we're doing that. I do that
what
too.
Do you do?
I go and I talk to civic groups. I talk to school groups.
I'm talking about talking to the kids. Like, hey.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I give classes to youth on gun safety. I give constitutional classes to the youth on safe guns.
I mean, I don't think gun safety is the problem.
Well, gun safety is the problem because kids are getting access to them, and then they're using them. They're taking them to school when they shouldn't be having them to begin with.
Either. It's the whole motivation. You know, I think you guys need to deal with the motivation.
Well, the motivation and the problem is that people don't value life anymore.
So
we don't value life as a society.
I totally agree with you.
CJ's already invited you.
My kid is not the one that's mentally ill.
Exactly.
It's not my kid. Not my kid.
CJ's already invited you to take an active role in doing something about it. So do something about it.
Join us. Join us and join the group. And look, we have our tentacles in everything. We're in schools, we're in city halls, we're in county commissioners' courts, we're in the halls of the legislature, we're here in the streets, standing up for our rights. We give classes to victims of domestic assault, free concealed handgun classes to victims of domestic assault. Well, we teach them self-defense. So first we get them licensed so they can carry in self-defense, and then we teach them tools of self-defense. Yeah. So if they're ever the victim, so they don't have to be afraid anymore. Because once you're a victim of sexual assault or domestic assault, man or woman, there's a lot of fear that it's gonna. You live in fear for the rest of your life. Oh, is this next guy or gal that I meet, is she gonna beat me, or is he gonna beat me again?
Right.
Am I gonna be raped if I walk around the corner? And there's a lot of that fear.
Yeah.
And being trained on how to defend yourself and being trained on how to handle a firearm helps to overcome that fear and helps them to live in public. So I do all that stuff.
I'm not saying what you guys are doing is wrong. I'm saying that it's not going far enough. Like, there is a population of young men
I agree.
Who are giving gun owners like myself a very bad name and making us all as a collective very afraid.
Here's what I'll caution you though. Here's what I'll caution you. Don't let anyone else's actions reflect upon you. Nobody that has a gun out there that does something stupid reflects on me. I don't care if they're a gun owner or not. I don't even care if they're licensed or not, although 0.03% of license holders commit any crimes. So I'm not, but when people do something bad with a gun owner, we as gun owners, we need to reject this idea that, oh, you're making us look bad. No, you're not. You're making yourself look bad.
That's not the point.
What we have to do is reject those actions.
My point is that you guys have a great platform to go and do something really positive in the schools and help these young men.
CJ's put his hand out and said, be that voice, and if you want to be, if you're so adamant and so enlightened and so not enlightened.
I'm one guy. Texas is the biggest state.
If that's your key point, then do something about it.
And CJ has also told you that he does get out to the schools and he does talk to the parents, to the kids. One thing that I would say is the parents have got to learn that yes.
So we're talking about a bunch of angry, parentless people. So that is where your argument falls apart.
Well, and here's
that broke the law.
And here I'll give you. I've got to get ready to. We're getting ready to start. I got to get over here. I'm one of the coordinators. But I'll leave you with this as well. One of the reasons we don't do more than what we do is because the education system is so anti-gun. They won't let us do anything. So even when I do things with the schools, I have to do it outside of the schools. And so you don't see, when they see us doing things like this, they see us doing things, but they don't see that it's tied to the school. We educate teachers, we educate children, but the schools themselves refuse, when we talk about gun safety, because that's a big issue, right? I work with Texas Gun Sense, which is a gun control organization, because they want to gun control. I don't work with in the sense that I work with them. Oh yeah, those guys. What I'm saying is I tried to work with them because they want common sense gun safety training, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, hey, I agree with you. I don't want school shootings. Here's an idea. Let's put gun safety and awareness education into our high school curriculum or into our middle school curriculum, so that we don't have to, because they want billboards and they want commercials and they want money to fund this and that and the other. I'm like, no, if you put it into our curriculum and make it a requirement to graduate, 100% of Texas kids get gun safety awareness and training. Guess what? They don't want that.
Yeah, it's not a
they don't want that.
Problem. It's not a.
But it is. Because we have.
The sane people are not the ones killing people.
Well,
it's a mental health.
And we're always, well, it's not a mental health issue. Only in 3% of them it's a mental health issue.
Really?
Yes, and that's empirical studies. So really? all school shooters or mass shooters, only 3% of them have been adjudicated mentally ill. But we keep talking about this. Oh, this guy's mentally ill, and this guy's mentally ill, and because that's what they highlight. That's what
What would you classify them as?
Well, okay.
Homicidal
and well, let me tell you this: anyone that kills another person except in self-defense has got mental issues to begin with. But that mental issue is that they don't respect life.
Right.
I mean, to me, that's a mental issue. Someone that robs from people has mental issues.
That would be a radical message for a bunch of, gun rights activists to be like, value life.
Well, we do. That's what we say. Awesome. That's what I'm saying. If you look up Open Carry Texas, everything that you're talking about, we have done and tried, and we're pushing. We are pushing for common sense gun safety measures. We don't want gun control, but the problem is what we believe is common sense, they don't believe is common sense.
And by gun control, what do you mean by that?
I mean limiting the rights and abilities of law-abiding citizens to own whatever they want. I am the same safe person. I've got a little .380 pocket pistol in my pocket. I am the same person if I'm carrying that as I would be if I was carrying a fully automatic M60 machine gun. I am no less or more of a threat with either of those firearms. So
yeah, you're definitely not the problem.
So well, and I would argue the vast overwhelming majority of gun owners aren't the problem.
Yeah.
And so why should 99.7 or 97% of gun owners be responsible for the 0.03% of gun owners that abuse their rights? I've got to get over here. What was your name?
Jason.
Jason, nice to meet you. I'm CJ. You got my card?
Yeah.
I mean, if you got any suggestions, send them to me.
Yeah.